and welcome to another installment of Inside St. Peter's. This is our little way of reacquainting or showing you all the great ministries that are going on here at the church. Today I'm joined by Patty Kohler. Patty is a good friend of St. Peter's and has been here for a few years, and she is part of our Labyrinth committee. Is that the right term? We have some Labyrinth enthusiasts in the congregation, and Patty is one of those. So Patty, welcome.
Thank you.
Would you talk about how you got involved and interested, sort of your personal involvement with our Labyrinth, with labyrinths in general?
Okay. Well, since you asked about this labyrinth, I'll start there, and then I'll move backwards.
Okay.
I live just a few blocks from here. And so before I ever became a member of St. Peter's, I would come and walk this labyrinth. It is set in a beautiful area, the columbarium, and it just is such a great way to combine three things that really speak to me. One of those is silence, one is meditation, and those go hand in hand, and the third is walking. And so as I would walk the neighborhood, sometimes I would just come over here and walk this labyrinth. And how did I get involved with the labyrinth in general? Oh my goodness, probably maybe 25, 30 years ago. I spent a lot of time at the Oasis. It was a spiritual renewal center in Little Rock. And they installed a beautiful labyrinth there, and that was probably the first time I ever walked the labyrinth. And again, it combined those things that really speak to me. Silence. I'm in a noisy field. I'm a teacher. And so silence, I crave silence. And after that walk, I walked a few others. And then a few years ago, my interest just really ramped up. And I met some amazing people on that journey, and I'm a labyrinth facilitator. I just recently learned that Marilyn Larson also is a labyrinth facilitator, and she and I have had some amazing conversations about that. So it is, I have one in my backyard, and the first thing I do every morning is I go outside, let the dogs out, and walk that labyrinth, and just, you know, I look up and the heavens speak to me. The whole notion of the labyrinth involves unity and wholeness, and that is one of the times when, you know, I really feel connected to the divine. So it is an amazing tool to help me achieve unity and wholeness.
That's great. I being a teacher myself, I understand about craving the silence, and when I'm here, almost every day that I'm here, at some point I have to get up, get out of my office, go outside, and I'll go outside and walk the labyrinth as well. And you're right, it is an absolutely beautiful setting, and it's quiet, and if I've been talking to someone, I can hold them in prayer as I'm walking, or if I've been talking to someone and I don't need to hold them in prayer, I can clear my mind. It is a great exercise, but I love that prayer, meditation, and walking. I'm no good at centering prayer, just sitting and being still. I do better when I'm moving as well. So I'm a labyrinth sister.
You know, I will say I just let me see if I can find it. I found a beautiful short passage on just releasing, and I think that the labyrinth helps release. And this to me applies to the labyrinth. Here in the stillness, I let my burdens drop down into your waiting hands. Falling as dust without form, substanceless, each weighty care flows freely as if it were a balloon, mist but vapor rising then falling over distant hills. And I think when I walk the labyrinth, that whole notion of just releasing everything else is just sort of overpowers me.
Yeah, that's really lovely. So in regard to St. Peter's Labyrinth specifically, we have some events coming up. I know in connection with All Saints and the potential for events later in the church year. So would you talk a little bit about those?
Absolutely. This is very exciting. On November 6th, All Saints Eve, the Labyrinth here at St. Peter's will be lit with votive candles, and there will be individuals here who will just be present in case, as a walker, you will have questions about the Labyrinth or questions about the columbarium. We urge anyone to come this whole next week and just in twos or threes or singly just to experience the Labyrinth. And there are so many opportunities to walk. Christmas Eve, thinking of praise and thanksgiving. New Year's, a time for renewal and dedication. Epiphany, January 6th, a time for thanksgiving. Ash Wednesday, March 2nd, a time for repentance and contemplation. Lent and Holy Week, which comes up in March through April, another time to think of contemplation, repentance, and renewal. World Peace Day, May 7th, prayers for the community and the world, and then Pentecost in June, a time for praise and thanksgiving. And actually World Labyrinth Day is May 1st. It's another time to walk the Labyrinth.
Those are exciting dates. And the Labyrinth is open all the time. You can get onto the Labyrinth at any time. It's located in the courtyard between the two buildings. The gate is never locked, and we encourage you to take advantage of it. It is a beautiful space, and it is an excellent prayer practice, because that's really what it is. So Patty, we close each segment with one of James Lipton's questions based on Bernard Pivot's inventory. So I'll ask you, what turns you on or gets you excited creatively or spiritually or emotionally?
Oh, goodness. Probably something from each of those categories. Creatively, I like to bake. I like to quilt. I love to play the flute, and I'm working on learning the Native American flute. Goodness, spiritually, right now I'm a huge Howard Thurman fan. I'm listening to his voice in my car, and I just love his focus on, being who we are. And then emotionally, probably dogs, all 5 of them, and my husband, my friends, my family, those I care about.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you.
It's been
Thank
it's been a great talk. And be on the lookout for more episodes of Inside St. Peter's.